Welcome back to AM Northwest. Is your current career less than ideal? Why not turn your side hustle into a full-time gig? Here to share some important things to consider before you make that jump, we welcome back career strategist and professional brand expert, Dr. Carol Parker Walsh. Always good to see you.
You too.
So you've probably dealt with people in your career counseling who've taken a side hustle and made it into their professional life.
And I am, first of all, I have to say I'm a big proponent of having a side hustle, right?
Okay.
To have multiple streams of income. Because,
sure.
you know, a lot of times people are multi-passionate and they have talents and gifts and so many different things. And the side hustle is a great way to kind of express that and have that creative outlet. It's also a great way to make extra money in case you want to take that amazing trip or, you know, cover your kids' tuition or to remodel your kitchen or something of that nature. So I am a big proponent in having a side hustle. And I have worked with clients that actually have done that. So,
well, but you've got to be honest about how good you are at this side hustle.
Yeah, totally.
Like, can you be a professional with it?
Yeah, you know, there's a couple things about really being honest around. The first of all is whether or not you want the side hustle to be your full-time gig.
Right, because maybe you just like to do it for fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a hobby and it's a great outlet, but when you have to make it your full-time thing you're depending on to pay your mortgage and to put food on the table, it may not be so much fun. The other thing about your side hustle that you have to remember is that it's very different to be an employee than it is to be an entrepreneur, right? As an employee, you know, you walk in the room and there's supply cabinets and there's people down the hall and there's an HR department and an IT department if things go wrong. When you're an entrepreneur, you're the IT department, you're the HR department, and you bring all the supplies in and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of responsibility. All results and all roads lead to you. And so sometimes people romanticize the idea of entrepreneurialism, but they don't realize how much work it takes.
Yeah.
Right? Employees get paid, they exchange time for money. So you work, you get paid. But with an entrepreneur, your time is the groundwork that you put working on your business, building your business, which you don't get paid for. And so you do all of this work before you actually see the results of the fruits of your labor. So you have to be really honest about how accountable you are. Are you a hard worker? You know, can you overcome some really hardships and challenges that it takes to really stay in the game to be an entrepreneur?
I think of like people who like to cook, then think that maybe they can cater, but that's a whole different animal.
That's a whole different animal. Like, for example, I have a client that loves to bake. She's great at baking. Her side hustle is baking, but she also she's the head of the organizational and consulting department with governmental agencies that she's great at and loves to do. And while she thought about doing one or the other, she realized that I love this side hustle. I don't want it to be my full-time job. So you really have to think about whether or not you really want to take it to that level.
You probably have to get your financial affairs in order, right? To kind of see what you've got, take a look at the books.
Yeah, 100%. You know, like I said, you don't exchange time for money as an entrepreneur. So you have to have a nest egg because a lot of the time you'll be spending is going to be doing the groundwork to build your business, right? It's going to be all the things that you do to market it, to really get the clients in. Not to mention the fact that when you get money as an employee, that's your paycheck and you can go have fun with it. But as an entrepreneur, when you get money in from a client, that's a business revenue or business income that you have to think about how you're going to pay the taxes, get your profit, and create a salary for yourself. So a $5,000 paycheck for an employee is fun money, but a $5,000 check from a client, you may actually only see $100 to $1,000 of that, depending on what your other expenses are in your business. So you want to make sure that you are financially sound to be able to support yourself while you're doing the work of building your business.
Yeah, I hear you. And you say to hone your process and perfect your systems.
Yes. That is, you know, when you're doing things on the side, we just take things as they come. So sometimes we don't have a system or a process. We just, everything is ad hoc, right?
So like we don't keep track of the supplies we need.
We don't
Maybe
keep track
if you're
of the
a
supplies.
gardener, you don't keep track of...
Exactly. We don't have kind of a rote system that we go through or a process. We just kind of take it as it comes because it's something that we do on occasion. But when you're running your business, you need to hone your processes and your systems and come up with something that really systemizes and streamlines your process so that when people come in to work with you, you can actually run them through and get right to the business of doing the work as opposed to thinking with every new client, now what do I do? Or how am I going to do this? Or how am I going to onboard the client? Or how am I going to walk through the process with the client? Or how do I get my supplies that I need to be able to supply to, you know, you want to streamline that and get all that in place before you decide to jump into your business. That way that takes away from the amount of time you have to spend doing that groundwork and not getting paid for it.
And you think it's a good idea for people who are thinking about doing that to get like a coach?
Oh, 100%. You know, one of the best things I ever did when I started my business was to hire a business coach because you want to get someone who's been where you've been and is kind of doing what you would like to do eventually. They've seen some success along the way. So having that support is amazing. But also the biggest thing too is to find a tribe of people who get what you're going through, because your friends aren't going to understand when you can't go out to lunch or happy hour or take that weekend vacation with your girlfriends because you're working on your business.
Right.
And people in your home, including like your spouse and loved ones, when you're working nonstop but they're seeing no money coming in, it doesn't make sense to them. If they're an employee thinking, well, when you go to work you get paid, why aren't you getting paid? So you need to have a tribe of people who get the language, who understand what you're going through, and can actually give you some support, give you some information, give you some feedback, and let you know that you're not crazy when you think about jumping off the ledge and like, I just need to get a job. Right. So you need that kind of support of a tribe or people who are also going through the journey, but also a coach that can help you, not to overcome some of the landmines and some of the challenges that you're definitely going to face when you become an entrepreneur. So not trying to discourage people from doing it, because I absolutely love it, but you have to really be honest, get your money in place, have your tribe, and get your processes before you step into this on a full-time basis.
All makes sense, Carol. Thank you very much. Thanks for the reality check.
Yes.
Okay.